Well, Hornby command decoders. My experiences have not been very good with these. I find the wires come off the circuit board if you look at them too hard, let alone anything else. I've been trying to put a decoder, one of the Hornby decoders, not only because of its size, in a Bachmann N-class locomotive. Now I've got as far as, I should have it here really to show, but I've got as far as taking the circuit board that's built into the N-class. I've disconnected that and I've just got my 4 flying leads now, that come from the engine, the motor and the track. So I got the Hornby decoder that I ordered from Hatton's a couple of weeks ago, removed all the function leads. Well, I didn't remove them totally, I just cut them short to about 1/8 of an inch. They're still attached to the circuit board, and obviously I cut the plug off because there is no socket in the engine, and I was stripping the ends of the wires to solder to the leads in the locomotive when the red lead just came off the printed circuit board. And well, what could I say really? You know, that is just, looking at it, it seems to be the soldering seems to be very insubstantial, and the wiring itself is also very, very flimsy. There's twice as much insulation as there is actual cable inside, so it's a fairly weak sort of assembly altogether. The properties of the decoder are irrelevant if you can't actually use it for what you want to use it for. Now, admittedly, you're not supposed to cut the plug off and bare the ends, but any circuit board with leads flying or coming off it, with flying leads, should be strong enough to stand up to, you know, I wasn't exactly attacking it with a hammer and chisel. You know, I was being very delicately shaving the plastic away with a blade of a very sharp modelling knife, which in fact has a scalpel blade in it, a very sharp blade. And the lead just fell off in my hand. And that's not the first time I've had this experience with Hornby decoders. I was fitting one into a Hornby locomotive, which it's supposed to go into, and exactly the same thing happens, but this time I hadn't removed the socket. You know, it was plugged in, and I was putting the decoder up the side of the N15 where it's supposed to be able to fit, but obviously it doesn't because the decoder is slightly too large. And exactly the same thing happened. You know, wire detached itself without hardly any strain on it at all. In actual fact, it just, the slight bit of movement on the wiring and it's liable to come unsoldered. Well, that's my experience of Hornby decoders, and I'm not very pleased with them. You know, Hatton's have told me to send it back, but I just can't be bothered. It was only 12 quid. There you go. I hope other people have better experiences. Oh, that's film 1 in the DCC Saga.